Yeah, the cats just close themselves in there. Okay, so when we left off last time, you had leveled up.
And drinking with a straw. Oh my god, he's got a straw.
That's right. You all break down and have a crying fit now, California. So, Trump is drinking with a straw. You are riding in the carriage with someone who has been referred to as Takesis's emissary after you had a vision and you were told that the first one is on her for free. The first, what is on her for free?
No idea.
So that has left you where you are in your present situation. That there is what it is.
Have we come to an area where I can at least get like some extra clothing?
You have come to a point where you can stop, as you have been rambling on nonsensically about doing the past day and a half.
Well, you left her kind of high and dry without like any changed clothes, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to bed," like half stripping, like.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in Ivy body armor. Yay!
He didn't strip. What?
Well, what? He went to change clothing. Okay, there we go.
No, he never took his armor off. He took.
Yes, he did. He took off his armor and went to like the stuff that he had under it. And now the cats are angry at you.
Look, their bitch asses can sit in there. Fine. We'll say that he has taken his armor off.
Because it is just the two alone in the very large riding carriage thing.
So when they stop, you are able to get out and stretch your wings. Get it? Get it?
Yeah.
Ah! 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 So, when you get out of the carriage, do you look around?
Yes.
So when you look around, you can see that Bannister and the Giants are walking around the carriage.
I give him the look. Hey, I'm giving him this look.
He smiles at you, and he waves. And he motions, like when you do that, like he motions to some of the Giants to watch you. Because, like, I imagine, like, you kind of go off for privacy or anything?
I go like I'm going back in, and then I go invisible.
Okay.
And then I go to where like I'm sitting on the carriage, watching what they're doing.
So you're not taking this time to remove the choker or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll do that later.
So when the emissary comes back outside, he has his helmet on, but he still has like the under armor that he has on. And he is speaking to Thamister in another language which you don't understand. And you notice that the Giants in the area where you all so just so you understand where you're at, this X right here is your final destination. This is where you're here at right now.
Okay.
So you're still in that rainy forest area. So along this little path, it's not much of a path.
You find something to throw in her butt. No, we're not going to check that. Where's the brain at?
I missed her. It would have hit her shoulder anyways. So you notice that the Giants start taking some of the trees and like they start ripping them out of the ground, and they're taking the trees and they're putting them around where the carriage is. and you see that there's about 10 hill giants in their stanister, and they pretty much like recline on the ground and leave like a few giants outside the ring.
So they're like barricading it.
Yeah.
Or in the woods.
I just wanted to make sure the fucking worked. So yeah. So then, magic box. Then step 2 that we've been forgetting here, as we've been fucking sitting here doing in silence. Fake camp. And they basically bed down and leave guards. And then it gets later into the evening, and like you see the emissary come out, and he's like looking around, then does a fuck it motion.
I go over next to him and kind of like appear hovering next to him.
Okay.
You okay?
He goes, yeah, I'm getting something to eat. Come on in.
Okay.
So like when you go in, like the table's set and everything, and you see that there are like platters and stuff that are like floating out of a chest, and like it sets out like a roasted chicken and like vegetables and everything, like it's been freshly cooked out of this little chest. So it's just the two of you for dinner.
I'm sorry, I haven't to defend you. Like, you look like you're a little upset there.
He goes, no, I just, I'm not used to companions that disappear.
Sorry. I wanted to keep an eye on the like Bannister and his group.
He goes, Bannister has a good thing coming to him. So it doesn't do him any good to cause us any problems.
Right. Even though he did turn on the other giant and kill them as quick as he could.
He goes, yes. He goes, you do have room to be paranoid on some levels, of course. He goes, after all, I'm not looking for, entirely the best people.
Okay.
Just more or less the strongest.
So then
I worry about the discipline issues later on.
So then why am I here?
He goes, you would have to ask Takesis herself.
She didn't really give much detail.
She goes, what exactly did she tell you?
She asked me to take a knee. Told her I don't know you. So, why would I be taking a knee if I don't know you? And she's like, well, this one's on me. Just go with you. And that was all she said.
So she's trying to give you a reason to basically be impressed, it sounds like.
That's what it seems like, and I understand her tactics on this, but I'm not one to be told you must do this, and all your fantasies will come true. I'm more of a realist, I guess, in that matter. I mean, the way my family background is, you may say one thing, do another, and then trust another way. Like, there's things that you have to see in order to believe, in order to understand and trust.
And he goes, I think I understand what you're saying, and you understand where she's coming from at the same time.
Right.
And what she's asking you at the same time is, what are you wanting? Is there something I can provide to you? Because there's something about you that stood out. She has an eye on people. She, right now, is in the midst of having me gather figures who can serve her in some way or the army that she's building in the future.
So what pray tell happened to the other individuals in my area? Or
He goes, as far as I understood, I received a letter that said that she left. Something about she was called away a few days after we left. My spies don't extend everywhere, so he
Okay.
goes, but if you have one of those statues, I'm sure you could write somebody. And he goes, you all do have figurines of delivery, don't you?
over my house. Yeah. No real consequence out. I'm like, here we go.
So you remember how it was used last time?
Yep.
Or do you want to make a roll specifically how you could be able to use this item to try and get in contact with her?
Considering she's had dealing with that sort of device before with her grandmother
Mm-hmm.
and other family, like with the gnome, she should be able to figure that out.
Okay. So who do you address the letter to?
What is her name?
Who, Raven or?
The person.
Well, for you, like if you're trying,
No, what is her name?
He goes,
Send a message.
He goes, I don't have anybody to send a message to and find out. He goes, merely that, my commander there basically said that. No, that's Lily's character's name. Yunari, you could try addressing a letter to Yunari.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We got the little wizard girl. Like maybe she'll be. Grandmother's not back there. Grandmother's here. Well,
your grandmother, as far as you know, is an Innsmouth. Yes. So, I mean, now you also know that one of those letters is to the state that figurine has an attachment back to her thieves guild that she's a member of. So, I mean, you could try contacting the thieves guild and see if they know something.
sure, let's do that.
Okay. So, what do you write in the thieves guild? Do you let him know what you're writing, or?
Yeah, like, well,
It's pretty much a private letter. So, what do you write to the boss or the guild boss? Because he's not your boss, of course.
right. Checking in. Raven's doing okay. Working on increasing the supplies within her pocket.
So, okay. Do you add anything else, or?
Yes, and then just wondering, and Raven will be compensated if people give to you as well, to help with the question, would you or anyone in your facility know of someone with knowledge of X, Y, and Z that has been in town or in the vicinity?
Joe, who is it that you're looking for, though, Tara?
The fucking girl for the pieces that disappeared or that went away.
Raven's the one that left town. That's why I'm like, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You said.
Okay, so let's repeat this conversation here. Okay.
The emissary said.
The emissary has told you. You asked about Raven.
I didn't ask about it.
Okay, so never mind. So what about the girl back in town then? Because that's what I was like.
I was asking who his contact was there, that, had been the cases had spoken with or had there, but then said that she left town.
Okay, in reference to what he said, because I'm confused, because I could have sworn that you asked about Raven.
I
Okay.
did. You
Because
inserted that
he
name.
would-
I didn't.
He would have said that he wouldn't make any mention of that because like his underlings and stuff are still in town.
Yeah,
So, I
I
mean-
didn't say anything about Raven.
Okay, because like I'm like, what are you talking about?
So the question was, with Tecusa,
Mm-hmm.
who was her contact in that area?
He goes, we're all her contact. What do you mean by contact? Are you talking about what the cleric's name is? Or with the giants, or because like you thought you had a trail of question, but now it's like
I did, but it got totally derailed because of the Raven stuff being added in there.
okay. So if you're looking to write a letter back to Innsmouth,
The only reason I was going to do a letter
Okay.
back to Innsmouth was because if the emissary's contact there had disappeared, to see if we could locate anybody who knew of that individual or have a way to get a hold of that person.
no,
But if his contact there is still there,
Yeah.
then there's no need for it.
okay.
Because the way the dialogue went for the conversation on it, it was that his contact there is gone.
Okay. So let me restate this conversation that he states with you over there. Is that his contacts have told you that Raven, your grandmother, is still in town, but Raven left town. Eben is still there with your grandmother. That's what he tells you that his contact in town has told him. And he shows you the letter that says so.
Okay.
So I'm sorry because like I'm
I
not
was
sure.
just pointing to that.
Okay.
That's where I'm like, what?
Okay, because that's the conversation that he has with you over dinner. And he shows
Okay.
you the letter.
Okay. I'm agitated, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
Alright, because like
So then the whole like idea of like opening the bag and looking for the talking device is totally what like not there, squeegee out, gone because it never happened.
now like I had thought that you were taking it as you were gonna ask where Raven was. Or try to send her a letter or something.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I have no need to like
Okay.
have that involved at the moment because there's
So-
nothing.
That's it came out of, sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay.
You know, just making sure to keep an eye on things that are going on. I'll go ahead and pull up the little talkie head and just send a message to Rand.
Okay.
Just check out, make sure she's okay. Make sure Evan's keeping an eye on her.
So, like, you all continue eating dinner, of course. So, like, a few minutes later, like, the little statue, like, wobbles back and forth, and, like, a folded piece of paper appears underneath it. So, like, when you open it up, like, all of a sudden, the paper does that Harry Potter thing. You know, where it folds up and it looks like a pair of lips. It goes, I don't know where you're born, but I have some news and other things. So,
This is talk like her.
it does. So, I miss you very dearly. Second of all, Raven received some kind of letter about her grandfather and has left town. Evan offered to go with her, but however, we are going to wait for the next airship. By the way, if you happen to see an individual that looks like and she describes somebody that looks like Rasputin. She goes, those nice people that we rode on the ship with are looking for him. His name was Ibis, apparently, and he's some kind of wizard. Apparently, he's a member of their crew that jumped ship, so they asked so kindly if we could be on the lookout for him. She goes, please send me another letter as soon as you get a chance. And be careful as always. And the paper folds up, and you can read the same thing, but it doesn't say it in her voice.
She is one for
So,
display.
what you're doing now?
So I say that as I kind of side shake my head and like apologize.
I need a D6 roll.
Wow.
So outside, you start hearing the giants start hooting, and they get very excited.
I look back at him.
And he stops in mid sip of wine, and he goes, I don't fully understand their language that much. Perhaps we should open the door and see what's going on.
Oh, that sounds like that's pretty excitable. So it might be an eyeball.
So when he opens the door and he leans out, and like I'm assuming that like you're trying to look past him. So like when you get up and you look past him, like you see the giants are like the ones that you can see are like leaning up over these like upside down trees that are in the ground, looking at the other giants that are outside the walls, and you hear them basically carrying on, and like a few minutes later, like you see one of the giants come closer to like the trees, and like they hand something to one of them, and they turn around with like two deers in their hand, like a deer in each hand, and like they're already dead and everything. Like they basically look like they've been hit with like clubs and rocks, and like the giants start basically preparing to eat them, and start like they set like a fire and they start cooking the deer and splitting the pieces up, and like they have like the innards on one rock, and then, like and there's more deers that follow up and everything. So they have this weird style of like how they eat it. And like you see one of them taking like a giant cauldron out of a bag, and like he scoops the innards into it with water. So like they're making their dinner apparently, and have come fortunate enough to come across like animals that they can eat apparently. What? Just
the face.
just the face of oh my,
Yep,
or alrighty.
All right.
So okay. So you all continue eating dinner. What? You want your dice back? Oh, I saw dice that I gotta get you for like Christmas/birthday. Like, oh my godness.
Belated birthday.
Yeah, like you should be like in fucking love with them when I find them.
Okay, so we go back inside.
So you go back inside and you continue eating your meal and
And I
everything.
compose the return post on Instagram now.
Okay, so when you go back to the table, there's another letter there. Now, in fact, it is a letter in handwriting that you print. So this is her father
Okay.
that's written you. And it says, hey kiddo, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I just wanted to thank you for helping out Grandma. If you need anything when you come back to town, please see me. P.S. Don't let her know that I've written you. So, to explain this, me and Stephanie pulled out Saphra's character and was looking at her. So, you are reminded that he kind of has like this loose configuration of just fit within their families that he's adopted. So he's kind of started like his own mercenary house, kind of like the Drizzle do Urine place with like the House de Brennan. I believe it's pronounced. So like he kind of has that kind of thing going on, and he says, "P.S. If you reach anywhere in the East Coast in the vicinity of Black Tower, please go see my brother." Or he gives his brother's name, and you don't know how to exactly pronounce it. But when you look at it, it's BREONJS. He says he will, and he says if you don't find him in Black Tower, you may find him in Pax Romania, or he may be headed back if you don't see him in either place. He goes, I got a gift for you as well for signing up for help Saphira get out of the maze. Which sounds like news to you by that face.
She's out. Okay. I won't tell Graham about your letter. On a bit of an adventure. Talk to you soon.
Okay. ...
Question mark. ...
So no sooner do you set it off, like a few moments later, like it comes back. Goes, no, she's not out. She goes, your grandma says that you and her were on an errand to go get an item, and that you fully agreed to be the one to use the item. Sounds like grandma running her mouth again and making promises that maybe grandma can't keep. Which you know your grandmother has a habit of doing. ...
SMH ... SMH again ... face palm ... Graham, send it back. What are you looking for?
Right there on the floor in the laundry basket.
Pick her up.
What's wrong with these cat children? You.
Cuss me. The pug.
Not your laundry basket. Hashtag. Whose cat is this?
Those are my details. Hashtag you guys are the soft honey.
Fussy bastard. Here she comes! Sideways run under the bed.
Bad, don't like the yard.
So, do you write grandma a letter as well or no?
I go back to the letter I was trying to write for Grandma.
Which was Miss usual grandma running her mouth.
No. That wasn't the one to Grandma.
Okay.
No.
That was to your uncle.
That was to the uncle. And no, I didn't put usual grandmother running her mouth. No. I know better than to type that. I
Write that, brother.
Right, exactly.
Magical email. Magical text messaging. So, okay. So, anything else you include in the letter to your uncle?
Grandma owes me big for dealing with that maze again. Or going back to it and going further down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
Doing well, on a mission, saw tea, and just left it as the person that I know say, she's back in the laundry bag again. Fucking cat in a clean towel. And she's like, I had nothing to do with it.
I love cats. Nature's insane children. So,
Sending her that, got your message, saved, do a little bit of traveling. Got an empty pair of armor to use for the time being. You really need to get some of this if you don't already have some.
do you describe the magic item to her?
Moon ivy, yeah. Describe. I have your bangle still, or our bangle. I say our bangle, not yours. Forgot.
So, now it gets a little later. You don't hear any responses back from anybody.
I put it all back in the bag.
Okay. So, like I said, there's bunk beds. Do you take the bottom bunk or do you take the top bunk? Who will actually sleep in a chair?
I'll sleep in the top one then.
So to sleep, you notice that he goes to sleep with it sort of across his chair, and he has his feet propped up with a stool.
Okay.
So overnight / in the middle of the morning, like early morning hours, like you hear the horses being prepared. Like you hear them being like, how time you sleep, you hear the horses being hooked up and everything. And give me another D6 roll. As the cat's knocked over my Stonehenge in there. So, as the giants are basically sitting there and taking apart this encampment structure that they built, why did I never have the one that? I know, right? The fact that somebody's playing a fix me.
And you're all going to die down here.
We're all going to shit the bucket down here. Ain't nobody
It takes the lotion, rubs it around against the house again.
Ain't no shitting in no bucket down here. Who gonna be shitting in the bucket? There's gotta be shitting in the bucket down here. So, nice. I like. So, you hear the giants are like alarmed by something, and you're not exactly sure what they are alarmed by, but Thanister is directing the giants in a manner that he's seeming to be tracking a creature. So,
I can do it. So it's still
okay.
up middle.
Alrighty.
Invisible. Look around.
You go invisible?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see this creature that looks like a
Gangly, funky ass man.
looks like a creature from a nightmare. It's about 4.5 feet tall and has a bag-like body with a thick neck and a bulbous head. It has 4 long arms and a simple leg that ends in a prehensile foot. This pearl gray overall with a metallic blue and turquoise markings. And you notice that the face does not have a set of eyes or anything, but instead you notice that it's kind of like a mockery of a face, and it has like this appendage thing that hangs down like a tentacle, and on that bag-like body face, you notice that it has like 4 eyes and a mouth, and that one leg that it stands on has like 5 big, huge toes, and like you see it for a second, and then it hops and then it disappears.
Close the door. I go to wake up the sleeping man.
Okay.
By the way, back was not freak him out.
Okay.
Yo. Please wake up. Please don't be sleeping too heavy.
So like when you wake him up, he looks at you and goes, "Have they begun to move the carriage?" I'm sure the giants may be able to handle that.
They aren't quite sure. Look, it's kind of like they're looking for him, but it keeps like disappearing, reappearing.
Yeah. So about the time that you're hearing the conversation, because you're not privy to combat, because you are actually inside the carriage.
I should have gone outside dinner.
Well, I mean, you not knowing where that creature hopped, you could have been its next target. You know what I mean?
Could be here in the painful field.
So,
Hate to be funny. Black like they're so.
good. That's what I'm doing.
Oh no! It fell down the hole.
We can find it later. Don't worry. Well, because there are a goodly amount of giants. It is time for what is known as the bed. So, yes, you do hear the sound of some creature cry out in pain as if something horrible has happened to it. So, yeah, so you hear this creature cry out in pain once, then twice, and you hear the sounds of the giant start hooting again.
Okay, I hope they killed it.
So,
Sorry to make you for nothing.
he goes, perhaps we should go take a look.
You
So,
want to grab your phone? She's somewhere in that area.
when you all go outside, as discussed, the creature is indeed dead.
I love you. Please take my good stuff. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Lily, don't worry about it.
We took care of her, so
So when he goes outside, these creatures usually, an April Fletcher usually has, or Felcher usually has a lair somewhere nearby. Perhaps we should explore the hills around. He goes, what say you?
let's have some fun.
So you still have that armor on and everything, or did you take it off when you
I still have a
Okay. So when you all will descend into the forest.
sure.
Okay, so you have your character sheet. So a search/spot, wilderness lore, knowledge, nature,
Do I have to add all together?
No, you just gotta pick one, or if you have such, you can take a 20.
Dude, my search is a poison empty. So
Okay.
I should be able to just take 20.
Okay. So after a few minutes, no, I'm sorry. So about 20 minutes later, you have had to climb up into the hills surrounding this road. And you see a hole that you look at and go, I could fit in there.
Oh, yeah.
Because the creature was,
How will people hear?
it was about 2.5 feet taller than you, but it was this weird amalgamous creature of limbs. And it looked like, that was it really standing on its single leg, trying to steal items from Bannister when you looked out the door. No, you're fine. Dun, 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 da, 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 dun, dun. Bum, bum, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da, bum, 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 bum. Don't eat the salad as we're in a holding pattern. Don't eat your veggies, though they are tasty and green. They may be full of poison. Poison is tasty. Eat the poison. How to pick your character class is easy. Just do what you feel inside. Yeah. I got nothing. I thought I had stuff to like carry on until she got back, but I really don't. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bum 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 ba bum 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 ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da bum 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 bum. Hi. No, not yet. Okay. Boop 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 boop.
Ay, papi, ¿qué pasa, mi amigo?
Yeah.
Eres
Come on, crybaby. Since you can't stand to be part for me, so just while we're waiting for mommy. I'm still waiting with you guys. Don't worry, they'll be back soon. I'm sure of it. Nobody be worried.
Bless you!
See, I told you.
Bless you!
I told everybody, don't be worried. She'll be back. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Now let's go. Look, there's a tunnel.
So you see a hole in the ground that's about your size. You think the creature could have slipped in through it?
I point at the hole.
Okay.
You don't reckon there's anything here by going in it yet? I point at the hole, like, you think you could have been in there?
So well, my guess is as good as yours. I mean, if you think the creature was
I go ahead and start pointing towards the hole, like get it, like, all up in there.
so, do you have dark vision? No dark.
Unless something updated when you were like revamping the character.
No, we didn't.
Oh
So,
wait, didn't I still have so many points?
not that you can find dark vision.
Damn it.
Wow.
Anybody got anything that'll help me see down there?
So, actually, you know what? Dancing lights, remember?
But if it's me casting a spell, isn't it going to have that negative impact on the armor?
No. No, I'm wondering where you're getting that from.
You told me arc and resist of like whatever percentage.
So, like a 10% spell failure chance. Like, it's negligible. So, like, if you really want to dice carrots and roll that percentage dice, I can make you. And it's not, this is a natural ability you have.
The way you said it before, though, is why I'm checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand where your paranoia is. I know where your paranoia is coming from. Worried about the other shoe dropping. So you do dancing lights. Okay, so you have entered a tunnel that, as I've described, is about three. What did I say? It was about 3 feet high, and it's about like 2 feet wide. So
I'm comfortable to walk through there.
you're comfortable to walk through there. Like I
You
said,
said I'm 2.5 feet tall.
yeah, like I said, it was
Yeah.
a 10% spell failure chance because I just looked at it, so really negligible. If it was like 15 or like 30, we'd roll. But
Okay, we're good. All right, let's go.
So you continue into this.
I stopped a second, like about 15 feet in, and I turned back. Y'all
Okay.
coming?
You're the only person that's small enough to fit in the hole.
I know, but 2 feet out.
So when you
keep going.
stop to turn around, like you stumble into a space that is about 6 feet, and it looks like at once upon a time this may have been like some kind of area that is connected to the above ground adjacent, but like a rock slide or something had like capped it off. And like you see where there's part of a landslide in fact that's blocked the tunnel.
Does
And
it block me from going forward anymore?
it blocks you from going forward anymore, but like the room that it's created / like walled off, like you can see that there's stuff in here with you.
Kill them all stuff?
No, like in fact when you
Stuff that I could fit into my bag stuff?
yes, very much so stuff you can fit into your bag.
Alright.
And about the time that you're noticing this, like you hear them go, "Do you see anything?"
Hang on, there's a lot of rocks that fell in here. Give me a minute.
So
I'm looking at myself.
what you can see is like there is like give me a D4 or like I need you to take out a D4, a D6,
I like you said that.
and then like a D10.
There's the one I want. Oh, wait. That's only a 9.
It's an 8.
Wow. I do want it.
Nice. So there are like 4 scroll cases that you see. There is like one.
It's under it. 4 scroll cases. Four scroll cases.
What is this? This is
That's a D10, right?
yeah. Okay. I was like, I don't.
Okay.
Why the hell do I have rose-colored dice?
That's only one. The rest of them are kind of like a blood splatter. Like
That's odd.
you didn't have one that matched them for a D10. That's why I was able to try.
Huh.
You feel like you got like the D8 that matches like that with the
I guess I'm
splatter?
gonna have to buy another one of those big bag of dice sooner or later. Or buy you one.
Okay, come on. 4 scroll cases.
There's like a bottle of something. And then there's like a sword. Or no, it's not a sword, excuse me. It's a stone axe.
Into the bag of holding.
Okay.
Is there anything I can wrap around the axe to keep it from like scratching stuff?
Unfortunately, no.
Wait, I have like grubby, dirty clothes in the bag.
Yes, you have your dirty, dirty clothes.
Wrapping it with the dirty, grubby clothes.
Okay.
And then putting all that back in the bag.
Okay.
Do I see anything else?
You see that? No, there is not.
Okay. Is there any room to keep moving?
There is no room to keep moving.
Okay, turn around and go back up the wall.
Okay.
So it looks like there was a rock slide from something up above that sealed off the room. I tried looking through the whole room and I couldn't find anything.
Oh, well. Perhaps this is for nothing then. Because after all, the giants have become kind of restless, and you see that they're milling around in the bottom of
Okay.
and you notice that they have taken to throwing rocks as far as they can. So, like, every so often you see a crowd of birds in the distance after they've thrown one of these rocks.
Alright.
Okay. So you all get back into the...
Let's go. I will investigate those later. Yeah, you're looking at the cat and he's all like, forget you.
No, it's her. She's like, ooh, dice. Like, I'm fucking watching you, Galaxy. Okay, so
Cheers!
you need another D6 roll, buddy.
Can you give me my other today?
So as an hour passes, and then another hour. We went light. We're going heavy this time.
Alright!
Oh yeah! Are you sure you want to be? Are you sure you want to be saying that? Because like,
Come on, let's go. Let's do this.
so you hear the sound of the giants yelling about something, and the carriage comes to a stop. So how does it go about doing that now? Oh, okay, I see.
I see, it's the blind man. The man who's sitting here.
So you hear the sound of something like whistling through the air, followed by the sound of like a cry, and like out the window, like you know the guy that drives the carriage. You see him hop off the top, and like he ducks under the carriage. And a few seconds later, like you hear the giants, and then they're fighting something outside. And you hear Thanister goes, you know, little flying help would be nice.
Okay, sword in hand. Do I get anything funky from the sword when I pick it up at the hilt? Like from the...
Oh, that's right. You gotta give me a D20 roll.
Hi-yo! Oh, shit.
Wow, that would be good if it wasn't 4 dice.
Come on, let's just use 4 dice. You're a happy die.
It's a very happy fucking dice.
See? That's
Plus your will save. 5 plus your will save.
Which is reflex? Or no, 6.
11. So when you put your hand around the hilt, you remember that sensation you had last time, and remember how
Singing.
so like this time, like he goes, oh, wondering when you were gonna touch me again.
You like that, don't you?
Yes, I don't know. But by the way, he goes, you're taking the back seat to this one.
Okay.
And like you back seat, like you are no longer in control of your body.
You're right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is gonna be fun, Tara. So
Do I need another drink for that?
No. Well, maybe. I'll go get it for you though, if you want. Because this might be funny. So
Can we allow this one's for you, canister?
when you fly out of the carriage, sword in hand, or what you think is still you in charge, you see that there is this very large-scaled flying creature.
Are they shiny scales?
No. It's like a bronze copper color, and you notice as it zips by you the first time, before like you feel yourself saying that special Russian word that makes you turn invisible, that it ends in a torpid scale.
Okay.
I was looking for a snack, but
Snack what?
I know, right?
What kind of snack? That's right.
You'll need some Oreos for this one.
I know, because they're gonna be doing so much work, right?
Yep.
Ooh, baby, mint Oreos.
That's definitely Oreo.
They're not double stuffed, but Stephanie knows I like the mint Oreos, so we're good. Now, for lovely DM, let's come back to the computer and the games and stuff.
The table.
The couch, the little
You
table,
will return to your
domain.
Your perch down. Good God, little woman, chocolate syrup.
It's also your sister, because Stephanie has had the coffee with the chocolate syrup and y'all should ask him what he does with the chocolate syrup by himself in the bathroom at night.
I don't want chocolate. No. Oh, I'm killing them all. I'm killing you. I'm killing my sister at the table bowling. Good night.
Hey, princess.
I love you. No.
Sweet dreams of murdering everybody in school.
Oh, cheers
Okay,
with the pumped up kicks as fast as you can.
How about sweet dreams of murdering all your enemies?
No.
You sure?
All right. Well, good night to you then.
Good night, my love. Sleep tight. I'll give you hugs in your sleep.
That's so sweet. Yes.
Yes.
Good night.
Flying bunny attack! Take 2 points bashing. Galaxy was trying to catch her for you.
We'll get her for you.
We'll bring her back later. Go on, you get to sleep, my love.
So, when you fly up and you've turned invisible, and you notice this giant creature whip past you, you notice that it is a good, you guess 28 feet longer than you. And that's like a 50-foot wingspan.
Are we going to be able to cut off the wing?
So what you still assume is shock and awe of, I don't know what that is. You don't seem to, like, Bluebell's urge would probably be to do what?
I would start off with the fuck is this? I mean, what the fuck is this? And then maybe I'll like, what is your video? Are you going to try to kill it? Let's just fucking kill this thing. Should I check this motherfucker? Let's barbecue up some wings.
So while you're still So while you're still thinking it, like you find that short sword that's in your hand,
Mhm.
you all of a sudden go, and you're flying after it. And
So we're really doing this?
yeah, you're using
No,
it
I'm
really.
thinking at the sword. We're really doing this?
It goes, shh. It goes, Daddy's working.
Okay, Daddy.
Because, by the way, we should probably get acquainted. So, while your body's moving and it seems to be doing all the work, it goes, my name's Scalpel. And he goes, it's been a long time since anybody's held me in their hands. And he goes, next time I should probably let you front seat, huh? He goes, I've gotten very bored in my existence.
I'm sure if you haven't had anybody lovingly caress you for a while, that you definitely want to have a little bit of fun. I can understand that.
So, well,
This one doesn't count, though.
No, that does count.
It's a one.
That's not you, though.
Okay.
That's just other people going
Okay.
while this is going on.
Okay.
Remember,
Okay.
there's other combat that's going on with this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So,
Like, besides, it seems kind of like you know what you're doing with this thing. I've never seen this thing before.
it goes, oh, you've never seen a wolverine?
No. So I'm sure we can make some crispy snacks out of those wings.
So, while you two are talking, you see one of the giants take a rock and it connects with the thing into its chest, and you hear it go, "Whoa!" And all of a sudden you see another rock come flying up at it.
We can't let those bastards take all the fun out of this.
It goes, no, we're just waiting patiently.
Okay.
So, and that was a one, by the way. So, what basically you see happen is that the wolverine was trying to attack one of the giants, and the rocks had basically countermanded it on a one. What on your second one there, buddy?
Sure, why not?
Well, I did hand you a second here, so
Yeah. Well, it's not really good, but okay.
nice. 17. What's your attack bonus? Oh, that's nice. So that's
20?
well.
Oh wait, that doesn't include the
I'm having one of my moments. Sorry, Scalpel looks like a different kind of sword, but that's not what he is. So, while the wolverine's sitting there and worrying about oh, that's right, I can do that too. I'm sorry. So what basically ends up happening while the wolverine was distracted, your invisible self flies up behind the wolverine and like stabs it in the throat. And like when you stab it in its throat, like you've seemingly opened a hole twice its size. And by the way, that's sneak attack damage too. And like you just hear the wolverine like scream in pain and like fall from the sky.
Yes!
And like
That's
off the sword. And you hear Scalpel go, I'm sleepy now. Night.
Okay.
Give me a will save. Oh, that's right. You need your magic D20.
Well, I've got two of them, but I like that. 17.
Okay, so you don't fall asleep when he says goodnight. So instead, like what happens is like the sword goes back into the sheath, and
Well, before it goes back to the sheep, can I clean it off?
like you go to clean it off, and that blood has like soaked into the blade.
Oh, okay. Is it visible now?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
So like
It's
you turn.
visible with the blood kind of like disappearing slowly out.
So like when you reappear,
Warmer than my bread. Yar!
it is like crashed into the ground amongst the giants, and like they are sitting there and cutting it up. I need you to roll a d6 for me. Or actually, I need you to roll. You know what? Nah, I will do the d6 rolling. So while you watch the giants basically take apart it, you see a bear, and the bear is like looking on, like, oh man, I'm hungry. I could eat part of that. Oh
There is
man,
something I can grab off of it and dart off towards bear.
you could fly off. You could do that without a problem.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take some meat to the bear.
Okay, so like when you go up to the bear looks at you. What do? You just give it to him in your hand.
Thank
Oh,
you,
man.
I'm hungry.
I don't think you can speak with animal, do you?
No.
No. Okay. You have a handle animal check by any chance?
Maybe. I don't know. This is like trying to read upside down.
I'm sorry, that's terrific.
You have that in with all this stuff?
Oh, that's right. We don't need this.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just give me a d20 roll and then add your wisdom.
Ooh. 15.
You know what you're about to do out of your bare hands is not a good idea. It's probably a good idea to drop that meat rather than hand feed a wild bear.
I was gonna hand it to you. You're right.
Okay.
You're like, towards it, you're like, you. That did not land in the garbage.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you feed the bear.
Kind of like,
The bear takes the meat and wanders off without any bear versus you moments.
I go back to the camp.
Okay.
Are
So
those skills anything I could use? You know, for knowledge or experience? Maybe useful?
you're sure that probably if anything like the stinger and like scales, like some portion of it probably has some use to somebody. I mean, after all, the poison, is it seems to have a stinger, so it probably has poison, and you're sure that that probably has something to go with it.
Yeah, like maybe a couple things. Yeah, probably those are those skills.
Okay.
I'm gonna pillage it off the body.
Okay.
Back at home.
Okay. So
How much do we get off the body? Do I get the stinger, like about a dozen scales, and a couple things?
yeah, you can be able to get those things. So about the time most of the corpse has been disassembled, like they're rolling out again.
These are the deliverance.
Most of the corpse has been left behind and is starting to draw animals. And sooner or later that it will draw scavengers of all kinds. So, with that being done, your party continues on for another few hours. So, between the giants and the magical carriage, like you notice at some point that you doze off during the day. You don't know how. That it's ended. Now instead, like what you see is a vast open prairie land. And there are a few dots of trees and everything. So it's a wide open land. You see hills, you see mountains in the distance.
Any goats?
You see like wild deer, like you see like these large brown creatures that have horns that look like cows. And you see massive herds of them. So, since I have, do you want your D6 back? What? So do you want to give me that D6 roll then, buddy?
Four.
So you
I didn't keep drinking,
no, not at all. So you along the way, like you watch a herd of these cow creatures attacked by wolves. Nothing really to stop for. So a few hours more go by. Magic tires.
I asked what's this about scalpel.
So
If he knows like where it came from.
he goes, as far as I know, most of the items out of the armory. And no sooner does he get the words out of his mouth, does the carriage like throw you all. First of all, him like backwards out of the chair, like spilling him backwards in his armor, and like you are sprawled onto the floor, and like you hear the giants outside. So let's see.
I think I want to animal.
So what do you do?
Pick it up. In the door. Go to the door. And peek out for it.
So when you peek out the door, what you see is that the man that drove the carriage is laying on the ground with an arrow sticking out of his neck. No, but you can hear the sounds of combat. And you hear the sounds of the giants hollering, and you hear like the sounds of like voices like whooping and hollering in like a language you've never heard before.
Sword.
Okay, so when you put your hand on Scalpel,
He's snoring.
he wakes up and he goes, "This one's on you."
Okay.
Ah.
That's fine. Oh, I don't have to roll anything special for him.
No.
Okay, good.
You can avoid the will save because he's gonna grant you his powers now that you fed him once today.
Okay.
You kind of have to have a few more interactions with him to start understanding how he works.
Okay. Alright. So I'm invisible, sword in hand, going out the door.
Okay, so like when you go out the door, you see that there is this entire group, and like I'll draw them out, like little stick figures. So like the carriage is here, like you have a giant here, 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 and here. And like Bannister usually walks over to the left or right of the horses. I don't remember if we said that it was fed horses or not. But we're gonna say it has horses because I can't fucking remember.
He did say there was horses.
That there's like 6 horses. Yeah. Fastest carriage ever. So what you're seeing in the distance is you see that there's like you see that there's humans, because I assume that you fly into the air.
Yeah.
There are in total there's 11 humans and they're armed with bows. And like some of them have like In fact, you notice that some of them have a stone axe in their hand, just like you have folded into your bag.
That's 8, 9. So there's 11.
10, 20 for initiative.
Fell off.
That's better than it was. It was a 10 before, so 11.
Plus, or so is that plus initiative.
So to make this faster, the giants and everybody else in the party is going to go off of your initiative roll of 11. The giants go after you do.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. The giants have a 9. And
So, if I'm coming off, am I like, right, y'all?
so, like, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go, lunge with sword flying down to, like, run them through midair.
What did you get all together?
Huh?
What's yours is 11 plus what? Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh,
So you go first with that 30. That would be a 32.
no, 11%, it would be 23.
I don't know where I'm getting 33 from. Okay, so yeah, you go first. So wait a second, let me roll for your enemies here.
Stealth attack on top of it all. Right?
That is. You said you got a 19?
What? What, I roll?
No, never mind. Don't worry about that. Keep going. So you're 23 and you're doing a sneak attack.
Yeah.
So pick your target and then roll your d20.
Just badass on her.
Okay, so you're gonna take out the guy in the middle, right on the right hand side.
Yes.
Or would be the left hand side? Excuse me.
Whatever. That side.
Okay.
18 plus.
Yeah, that's so far hits them because you notice, like when you go up to attack them, that they are wearing like leather clothing, and they have bone armor on, and they have their faces painted like bright different colors, hair in braids, and like you just fly up and you're just like, look to do, give me.
I'm like like come down, like slice down.
And then
like,
you need to add another dice to that, so it's 3d8.
There we go. 7, 6, and a 5.
Yeah, like you're just invisible, like, and just like all of a sudden, like this guy just drops, and everybody's like, "What in the name of fuck was that?" The two guys that are beside him, they like look at one another and like they just see his throat bleeding, and like you're already like, doo 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 doo, flying off into the air as you swooped by. That's your attack action for this round. And then
One down.
when the gentleman that you know as the emissary gets out, like you see that he like charges into the midst of these two. On what side did we say you were on? The right?
Scratch his balls.
No, it's not my balls. It's my fucking thigh. God, you're a weirdie. So you notice that in his full plate mail, like these two warriors have like dodged his first attack because they saw him coming. So he swings the axe at him and then swings like that big huge sword that he has as well. And they duck out of the way because they're a little bit more agile without having to wear all that heavy metal armor. And then you hear that it's the giant's turn.
Oh. Well, when you put it on, take a turn. I'm like,
I know why that's cooking in my mouth too.
yeah, like, just kind of thinking nonchalantly. Am I gonna have to clean you later?
There's no, I'm self-cleaning.
I know that. Very interesting. I'm sorry if I woke
And by the way, when he says that, he goes,
you up.
okay. There we go. So hard sometimes to find an NPC.
It's so hard to do.
Okay. Oh my. I guess there is no entry that I made for him because we moved storyline in a different way than we were thinking that night. Okay, so Bannister in all of his wonderfulness. He's done in these movies in the Monster Manual too.
Oh
I know, this is what I get for not having my shit. Oh no, Pizza Head Steve. Mr. Phil's gonna have to cut you now. Like a bitch. I've got the fucking shit right here in front of me. I can swear it's in here. Boo 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 boo. But basically, he'll go ahead and attack. I don't have his exact stats. I'll pull them up here in a few seconds. I know, right? What the fuck? Why do you always make that annoying sound?
Because
It's like the most hideous sound ever. Where it's just like,
does it remind you of somebody's childhood?
no, it just makes you want to throw a baby out of a window. I mean, I'm an evil person, you know.
Not as evil as the rancid parts you have.
It's like somebody hug that fucking baby or throw it out of the goddamn window. I can't believe I can't fucking. Maybe they changed something, and maybe I'm like.
Maybe you're just crazy and you're getting a little OCD and you just need to
Oh, the open good. Maybe I just need to murder everybody at the table.
Well, it's a good thing we're not at the table.
Oh, here we go. I'm so off my game today. So yeah, so Bannister will use a great giant sword. Oh wow, that's nice. He will slaughter this guy, that guy.
He doesn't hit me in the process. Wait, there's still one guy here.
That was the one you murdered, remember?
No, you already wiped off the one I murdered. So did he kill 2 people over there?
He killed 2 people and I wiped off that person you murdered.
Oh.
And then he'll step in front of the other giants and murder this one.
So he gets to take 3 actions?
He gets 3 attacks. Yeah. Plus 26, plus 21, plus 16.
Overcompensating much, bitch.
Challenge rating 10 is the equivalency of a 10-level character. Think about that.
My turn yet.
So the giants will go next with their turns.
Yeah, they're not going to leave anything else for you to do.
This is a large party, you know. Plus they Plus, they're hill giants. You know, they're not the world's greatest combatants. Maybe you don't know that. So one of the giants will slaughter him. Nice. Him.
And then there were 4. 3, 2.
Yep, that would take him out too.
So there's just 1 left. That's over
So
there
there's
by
just
the
1 left
emissary.
that the emissary has at the point of the sword and combat has ended. Unless you want to sneak attack, murder this guy. Like while he's already at sword point. Which is an option that is available to you. I'm not telling you not to.
Does it look like he's trying to talk to the individual?
He could.
I'll play action.
Okay.
The moment it looks like he's not trying to interrogate him, I'm slicing him.
Okay. So he will.
But at this point, I am flying over to be behind him with the sword in hand.
Okay, so he will attempt to use the languages that he knows. He speaks to him in several different languages and does not get an answer.
How about I speak to him in my handful that I know?
Okay, and what's the handful that you know?
Rishka? Or Rishka? How do you pronounce or say that? The Elvish, Undercommon, Gnome, and Regular Common.
So, like, when you speak in Elven, like, he looks at you a little weird.
He can't see me because I'm invisible behind him.
Oh.
Does he turn around?
Like, he looks for, like, an elf, but he doesn't see an elf.
I go visible again, and I repeat what I said as I walk around him.
He looks at you weird again, but he doesn't seem to understand you. So while his back is turned to the emissary, you see the emissary basically shrug and like stab him through the heart with a sword through the back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The next one's yours then.
That's okay.
He goes, I don't think there's sense in talking to these people.
Yeah, he seemed like he knew one of my languages, like maybe slight understanding, but not.
Perhaps if we encounter any other ones, they may understand us.
Maybe.
He looks at the giants and the giants are like,
Yeah.
like, meh.
You got somebody else to drive the horses?
He goes, no. He goes, how are you at handling animals?
I haven't tried my hand at that.
So Thanister will actually I'll take the animals lead. Or I'll have one of the hill giants drive it.
Like, gonna break character.
No, instead, like you see one of the giants and like they take what would be the reins and like they're leading it like a child would lead like a puppy.
Okay.
And like they get the horses going at like a pretty good rate of speed, like you notice.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, wait a second. I'm doing a quick once over on the body to see if you are taken.
Unfortunately.
Okay, fuck this shit. In the garage.
It seems like the people that attack you, it seems like there's some kind of hunter nomads. So like they don't seem to have like a value of money, or at least the way that you do. Okay, so a few more hours roll by. I'll give you back your D6.
I'm doing. Shitty kitty.
Nice. Nice. So I rolled 3d6 both times, or all 4 times, didn't I? No,
Yeah.
screw it.
You didn't agree each time.
Okay, so that was. That would have already been all the giants. And that would be. Yeah. So, this
All of them are
is
dead.
no. This is how we're gonna have to use this next one. So, no sooner do a few hours pass, and you have like almost the same thing, except the carriage does not come to that same style of like screeching halt. Instead, like what you see before you basically is like, I'm sure you climb out of the carriage.
Yeah, invisible game.
Oh, what you end up having happen, bless you, is that before where there was only a small number of these natives, now it seems that there is a very large war party of them that have like blocked the way and have like ambushed the giants. So,
Right.
give me that wonderful D20 roll. Yes. So we look up the specific rules for this wonderful doom that is about to befall everybody. And the award for live cast with the most get up from the tables goes to this session right here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. With 2 large get up from the table gaps. What the fuck is going on? Maybe that system is from another one that I'm thinking of. That's what you always say.
Yeah. Alright, so what did I roll?
We haven't rolled anything now.
Oh, you're so right. So
It's the doom. The doom.
and that's plus the 11, right?
Yes.
So that makes it 19.
Nice. Or vice versa. So you rolled a what now? An 8?
8 plus 11, so 19.
Okay, so the way that this rule will work is it's a little different than standard. So with this large of scale of combat, because there are 49 of them, and only, let's see, 7, 8, 9 of you, that's a rather large number. So the way that it will basically work is that we will basically square it off against each other so that okay, that will work. Okay. 8 plus your attack bonus is high enough. Give me your attack roll.
Taking nothing. Attack roll? Okay. That fell off the board. I should reroll it.
Well, I'm sorry, you should roll for damage, excuse me.
Oh, the
That's the way
D8?
that it works.
How many D8?
It's 3d8.
2, 2, 4. Plus, plus 3. The donut has something else of plus for the armor. Or for the weapon, I bet.
So, this is the way that it will work. So you go flying through the crowd of people and
Oh,
you're
I
like,
get a plus 4 to my AC.
okay, that's fine. It won't matter on this. Trust me. Just roll with it.
Okay.
So you go flying through this crowd of 49
Invisible.
people. Invisible.
Sneak attack!
And like you've murdered somebody. It's like they're charging forward to like fight these giants.
Mm-hmm.
The giants will take their action.
Do I hear the slurping in the background?
Or yes, as always. Nice. So we'll just randomize this into damage then.
Dirty damage. Random dirty damage.
Pretty much. As your party members are able to do a great amount of damage compared to you.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
they've had bigger fists of fury.
yeah, very much so. So the one person that you've killed is nothing compared to this. Like the giants go charge, like not even Bannister. Like Bannister just is standing back there and he has his hand on his sword, and like the 6 hill giants have basically charged forward and like decimated almost all of this army, leaving once again one lone survivor. Like standing in the back is like, oh my god. So like if
I'm
you
going to fly up to him and become visible as they get towards him.
Okay.
Blade to his neck,
Okay.
and I'm going to do like before, starting with Elvish. Start asking questions, like, do they know what they're saying?
So like this one actually answers you back in Elvish, and he goes, "Why are you helping the intruders?"
I need information. Who are you guys? What is going on? Why did you guys attack the caravans first?
He goes, "Well, first of all, y'all are trespassing through our lands."
Well, somebody had simply told us we could have taken remedy or asked for forgiveness. But instead we were attacked first.
And he goes, "We didn't suspect that there was one of you amongst them, because we usually kill all the outsiders."
Technically I'm an outsider.
He goes, "But yeah, but you're one of the forest people. We ignore your kind."
Right. For now, we have to finish the hotels. They're supposed to be getting us to a certain area, a location that we have a quest to go to, and we are told that we must go here for divine reasons. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up something, Hello,
Yeah.
diplomacy.
So like he looks very puzzled by what you're saying. And you hear Thanister yell out, "Are you gonna kill him or talk to him?"
I yell back to him to shut his bloody pie hole. I'm taking care of business. Sit back. Look pretty.
Okay, so continue your business then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Does the one that I'm speaking to give puzzled looks at this little one yelling at the giant?
Yeah, kind of. But he's already assumed that you're one of them, probably.
That's okay. Doesn't matter. You're gonna call off the attacks, or are we gonna end up having to kill more of your people?
He goes, "Oh, that doesn't have anything to do with me." He goes, I'm just merely one of the warriors in one of the war bands that are coming this way."
Pray tell, how many more bands do we have coming?
He goes, "I don't know. There's a lot of them." He goes, "After all, they heard there were giants and they've come to kill them."
Grab him.
Yeah. So you grab the guy.
And I drag him.
Okay. So you better get a D20 roll out of that, buddy. A use. It's an 18.
Do we add anything?
So like you're flying along, dragging this guy by his braided hair. Okay. So where are you dragging him to?
Emissary.
Okay.
There's apparently more war parties coming this way. Because apparently they don't like the companions.
So he looks at Thanister, and he goes, "How much?" He goes, "Do you think you can be able to lead the horses faster?" And Thanister looks at him and goes, "Well, we can run with the horses, or we can cut the horses loose and drag the carriage, or we could just leave the carriage and y'all ride on us. You ride on our shoulder or something."
I look over at the emissary.
He sighs and he goes, "I do like my carriage very much." He goes, "Turn it over and set it on fire."
Do we need him for any other information?
No, you can kill him if you need to.
That or sorcerer's or
Nope. So we never figured out what your alignment was. So
chaotic neutral. Whatever fits
You
for me for
are-
during this time period.
slowly changing that alignment, Missy.
Hey, this is helping me in that current situation.
So you're slowly becoming neutral evil there, buddy. So yeah. So
I'm good with that. Whatever helps keep me afloat.
what now takes place is a game of hide and seek. Next to the D20. Thankfully, your companions are a little bit better at this, maybe, than the locals. We'll see here. Yeah, that's interesting. So, what's your wisdom mod? Or no, okay. Do you have intuit direction, wilderness lore, or like survival?
Hold up. We'll be back to my list here.
Disappointing. Not enough chocolate in that chocolate milk.
Foraging. Intuit direction plus 6.
Okay.
How the hell do I not have survival? That knowledge plays, knowledge geography. Yeah, that's about it, sir.
Okay. So, take one of your d20s and just roll it.
That was a tie. They were both 18.
So,
Tiebreaker. 16. What was that one?
10.
Okay.
So, you'll set the carriage on its side, have turned the horses loose and set fire. And the giants have taken to running. And like the emissary has started running, or you know what, actually, he has taken to riding a horse. Because that would probably be the fastest thing rather than being carried. So he takes one of the horses and he takes off riding after them. And in the distance, you can see that there is a very large war party, and they have been drawn to where the smoke is. So give me another d20 roll. Y'all are running quite fast for them. So an hour later, like you've lost them. So give me another d20 roll. So
Caught up again.
you can notice that they are on your trail again a few hours later. So give me another roll.
Keep going.
Keep going. So what becomes your mad dash over about a 4 days period of time, like you've lost them. Give me another d20 roll, if you please. So it will suck. A few days later, you notice that behind you that there is smoke, and there seems to be something unusual about the smoke pattern. So give me a d20 roll. Nice. So you notice that the smoke pattern is like repeated in another direction as well. I'm sure.
That's not good.
Do you say anything about this, or what do you do?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's more.
Okay.
Yeah. This direction, that direction.
Okay. So then, by saying something to it, or to them rather, there's your d20 back. Give me another roll. Really trying to figure out which dice to use. All right, so go ahead and roll.
Can't use that one. There's only one difference.
Now you need to roll it on here so I can see what it is.
See, that sucked. It was better over here.
Really? So, because you've said something to your companions and you all have changed direction, it's another few days before your party members actually slow down. And give me one final d20 roll. Nice. So, at this point, you no longer see smoke signals or see any trace of that you're being followed whatsoever. So instead of a d20 roll, it took a little while to get here on the airship. Remember, it only took a few days. So it's become like a week and a half. So at this point, give me a d6 roll. Nice. So you're startled one morning by the sight of like wolves walking through the camp, and like there's a very large wolf with them, and when the giants see it, like they shoo it off, and like it says something in Goblin.
Could I understand that through undercommon?
You would look at it and go, I swear it just said a few syllables in Goblin.
Yeah.
Then the emissary will look at it and say something. It will say something to him in that same language that it spoke, and the creature stops and looks at him, and the emissary gets off his horse and approaches the creature and continues talking. And after a few minutes later, like the wolf creature and the wolves that were following it now follow you, or follow the group rather.
Okay.
Do you were say anything there?
I asked him, what that language was. Like, if that was that language.
He goes, yes, it's Goblin, and he goes, it's a warg, and he goes, the warg's been nice enough to join us, and it's going to send some of its wolves when they get closer to its lair to bring more of its numbers.
Okay.
So, a few hours later, the party is indeed joined by. I don't like that. Like 6 wargs, and only like 1 more wolf. So now you have a very large party.
I look at the wolf and that's so cute.
The wolf is like there's like about 8 other wolves, and it is a very pretty wolf. It's an albino wolf.
Is it big enough that I could ride on it?
Yes. Becomes a question of, do you make the attempt?
Not yet.
Okay. So another few days go by. Give me a d6 roll. So one afternoon, while you're still debating about riding the wolf, like your group is ambushed by a group of riders wearing the same kind of armor as the emissary, and they are riding black horses.
Our emissary? Is this with us?
Yeah, the emissary that's with you. And like they as soon as they see him, like they call out to him and like ride up as fast as they can. And like they begin talking in a language that you don't understand. And like you give me a d20 sense motive, since you're like giving me that face of what the fuck.
About plus 25.
You get the sense that these figures are very concerned and like, as to the state of the emissary and like the situation. Okay. No, it doesn't seem like one of those situations.
Okay.
Where, like it's like, oh, you're gonna have to murder somebody. No, it doesn't seem like that at all.
No. but they're like, I just feel like, hey, you know these guys?
You ask the. He goes, yes, these are my men.
No. I'm talking, sword talk.
Oh, it's the sword.
Yes, yeah.
The sword goes, no, I don't know who they are. Because maybe you should ask.
They're part of the military entourage for his people.
And go ask them, weirdie. Because I don't know everything, you know.
I'm just curious, they've had you in there, like, lack of, like, armor.
There's a lot of people that end up buying me. I don't talk to everybody, though, you know.
So what makes other people special that you want to talk to?
That's because you touched me with a bare hand.
Oh.
Because that you're magical already.
You just got a thing for, like, cold hands.
Because no, I thought I could be able to gain control of your body, actually.
Maybe they never told you you're a smart ass.
No, but I'm more to the point than most people are.
That's good.
So about this time, like the emissary has walked up to you, and he's like saying something, and you don't hear him for a few moments.
Blink, blink, blink.
And then he looks at you and goes, "Are you okay?"
I let go of the hilt. Like, I'm sorry. Yes?
He goes, "We're only about a day's ride away." He goes, "We're about to move out. Are you okay to ride?"
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry.
He goes, "You don't look okay." And like he says something to like one of the wolves, and like they look at you, and like they look at one another again, and like that albino wolf like kind of like walks forward like hesitantly, and like kind of like lays down on the ground, like on his belly, like you can get on his back.
Okay. Alright, I'm cool with this.
Okay, so like as soon as you get on, like it takes off running. Yeah, very much like wee.
Okay.
So they and you will continue riding on to your destination.
Okay.
So it is almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you'll give me one final d6 roll, and that will tell us what horrible or delightful things will happen.
Horrible.
Nice. So as you're running along, you encounter a herd of deer. The day passes without any incident. In fact, as the sun is setting, you see quickly coming up a group of large black towers with buildings built in between them. And that's where we will leave you as it comes into the 11 o'clock hour. Another horrible city in the distance.
Read that.
We got 4 playbacks somehow. 1 peak occurrence.